What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Subscribe if you are new. I am going to be bringing you guys through all the books that you should bring on vacation. Could be to the pool, could be on a family vacay, could be on a little girls trip or in your bedroom. I don't know. These books I picked out specifically for what type of mood that you're in when you're on vacation. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? Books to bring on vacation if you want a fun romance. So for this one I chose Funny You Should Ask. And this one I feel like has been all over TikTok. I actually made this one I think it's August. Yeah, it's my August book club book of the month. So little like self promo, but if you want to be in my book club, then I'm gonna put the link down below. It's really fun. We just talk about books and I pick one out each month. And for August, it's Funny You Should Ask. It's just like a fun romance. If you liked Daisy Jones and the Six, I feel like you're gonna like Funny You Should Ask because it has that same type of like celebrity gossip aspect to it. Basically, it's this celebrity interview that pops off this writer's career that happened like 10 years prior. I'm not gonna give away who I imagine just so that you can imagine whoever you want to imagine, but it is like an upcoming movie star. They have this interview and it's not like your normal interview. Like the interview lasts like 3 days and they really get to know each other. And then he's like gonna be the next like James Bond. And so you get snippets of the original interview and then it's like 10 years goes by and you see where both of them are at in their lives. And then they have like a little like reunion interview. It's juicy, I wouldn't say it's steamy. It's more like fun, romance, flirty. If you're in the mood for just like a cute, fun romance, Funny You Should Ask is definitely something you should check out. So if you're on vacation and you are kind of like going through it right now, or you just kind of want to like sit down with a book that will give you life lessons, you should read Tiny Beautiful Things. Did you know I was gonna say that? I feel like people who have watched my videos probably knew I was gonna say that, but I live and die by this book. I feel like everyone should read this book. I recommend it non-stop because it's my favorite book of all time, and I feel like I can't go a video without mentioning it. So this is your sign. If you've been thinking about reading it, you should definitely read it. It's a collection of just beautiful, well-written advice columns. The advice column of Dear Sugar, which is Cheryl Strayed, and she wrote Wild, which I also love, but people have like wrote into her when they didn't know who she was, and it was just under this advice column of Dear Sugar, and it'll make you cry, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you smile. I would say it's light and heavy at the same time. I just feel like it's one of those perfect books that if you need a little push in life, or you're just looking for something to kind of like give you a nice hug and a slap in the face at the same time, you should read it. Okay, so if you're going on vacation and you want something to get you hooked, like you just want to be enthralled by a book, like you just don't want to even think about anything else while you're reading this book, you should read What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. Liane Moriarty to me she makes bops in the book world. To me, I think that everything she writes is amazing. She is so good at making like twist endings, and I really love the way that she writes characters. You know them so well because of how well she writes her characters. And this book is about this girl Alice who loses like, I think it's like 10 years of her memory. She hits her head or something at like the age of 29 and she's pregnant. She's like fully in love with her husband. Wakes up 10 years later, she's 39. She and her husband are getting a divorce. She doesn't know her 3 kids that she had, and her and her sister aren't talking. So you're enthralled by this storyline that's just getting her memory back, figuring out where she went wrong along the years. Like, I really liked it. And I read it so long ago and I still feel like it's worth the read. Okay, so if you want something just hot, steamy, you don't even care about a good plot, like you just want some good hot romance, you should read The Score by Elle Kennedy. This one, I have read a good chunk of the off-campus series just because they to me are like my go-to. If I'm in a reading funk, I read one of the off-campus books because I don't even care that the writing is like not out of this world. Like it is to me like a little comfort. It's like a comfort book because it's so juicy that it's just like you sit down with it and you want to finish it in like 2 days. This one is about this girl Allie who just got out of a relationship, and this guy Dean who is like the designated hoe of like the college that they go to. You just see their chemistry. It's hot, it's fun banter. To me, I feel like Dean and Allie, out of like all the couples, well, no, I would say the deal ranks like best chemistry. I feel like they come in close second though. They are like almost tied in my book, so I loved it. If you want something easy, The Score is where to go. If you are in the mood for something thought-provoking, you want a little nonfiction action, I think that you should read Think Again by Adam Grant. It's The Power of Knowing What You Don't Know. Basically, he talks about the power of doubt, how to get better at embracing the unknown, and the joy of being wrong, because who doesn't love being wrong? Not me. But basically he just talks about what we can gain from just things that we don't know and rethinking situations. He gives like different examples about different like companies who like had to change the way they thought about their products, and just different like life scenarios. If you can adjust your mindset to not being stuck in your ways, then you can grow exponentially. I would say for a nonfiction book, he made it really interesting, and I feel like I learned a lot, so definitely check that one out. Okay, if you are going on vacation and you just want to escape into another time period, another city, I recommend City of Girls. This book is so underrated. I feel like this book should be talked about like all over BookTok because it really reminds me of Evelyn Hugo. I feel like if you liked Evelyn Hugo, you are going to love City of Girls. It's like a hefty book, but I feel like it's worth the read. So it's this 95-year-old woman named Vivian, and she is retelling her youth of being 19, growing up in New York City. Basically, she like failed out of college and then had to move in with her aunt who like lives in the theater district in New York. She kind of like gets herself into like the center of this scandal that like ruins her reputation. She has to move back home and just uproots her entire life. Basically, it's just an amazing book about life lessons when you're young, what like being a woman in the 40s was like. It's got fun energy, girl power. I feel like the main theme of the book is just how to embrace being your true self. And I mean, who doesn't love that? Honestly, I would say it's probably one of my favorite books. So if you're going on vacation and you want a thriller book, something from start to finish, you'll be like, oh my God, out loud reading this book, you gotta read The Silent Patient. This one is talked about for a reason. It is, I was reading this book and I was like, what the? Basically this woman who like has it all, her name's Alicia and lives in London, has a hottie husband, and basically like her life is totally normal, like nothing really crazy is going on, and then one day she just randomly stabs her husband to death. Then she goes to this, it's like a mental health hospital, and they keep her there and she goes silent. Like she doesn't talk to anyone. No one knows her side of the story. Like in court, she was totally silent. Then this like therapist gets hired at the hospital that she's at, and he is like, I can fix her. Like I can help her. Like I'm dedicated. And you just kind of see them work out this murder mystery case. It's crazy. I did not see that ending coming. I was shocked. Next up, if you want something inspiring, you want something that'll make you feel good, you want a feel-good book, The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes, I feel like it's just an icon, and it's not surprising that her book was so well written. I mean, she's written incredible TV shows, so no surprise there. She gave herself like a challenge of saying yes for a year straight, dedicates just like 1 year to doing everything that scared her. It had me laughing. It's raw, it's honest, it's candid. Honestly, I feel like you get to see a totally different side of her because she is like so professional, like on the outside world, you know, in like every interview you see. Definitely something to inspire you to say yes more and to be, again, like more true to yourself and push yourself like outside of your limits. Okay, so my camera just died, but last but not least, we have, if you just finished The Summer I Turned Pretty and you want something to fill that void, first of all, I feel you. I also just finished that series and I wish I could reread this series to fill that void. And the series that I'm talking about is the Selection series. It is another YA masterpiece. I love this book given I'm in my 20s and I read this last year and I like devoured this book, I did not think I was gonna like it because I mean the cover alone, I was like, nope, I'm too old to read this kind of series, like it's not gonna hit. And then my sister was like, just give it a chance, like just read it. And I was like, all right, fine. And then I read the first book and I was like, hooked. It's another one of those love triangles, but this one it's different because it's like The Hunger Games meets The Bachelor. You've got the country is like split into these like kind of like a rank system, and our main character comes from 7, or like the lowest one, I kind of forget. She gets picked to be in the selection, which is like the prince is like selecting a bride. So like that kind of gives it like the Bachelor energy, because women from like around the country are kind of like competing for his love. The main character, whose name is America, which is like a little weird, but she is like in love with this guy that she grew up with. She doesn't want to go on like the selection, but she gets selected, so she has to go. But then she meets the prince and you kind of get to see like their friendship blossom. There's 3 books, so you get a whole little journey of her like love triangle, and you get to kind of see who she ends up with. So that definitely gives me the same kind of energy that The Summer I've Turned Pretty does. Gives you that same like warm butterfly kind of feeling. When you're reading it, you're just like, oh, who is she gonna pick? And then like you're rooting for like, you know, I'm not gonna give anything away, but so good. That's definitely one that if you go on vacation and you bring this book, you have to bring the whole series, because you might finish one and then you might want to get into the next one like right away. That's like the iffy part about like bringing series on vacation, you know what I mean? But definitely check this one out, even if you're not going on vacation. So yeah, those are all for my list of books that you should bring on vacation this year, or just summer reading recommendations in general. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in my next video.